Welcome back to the Town's End, and I'm in my third review of a Factor pre-made meal that's keto friendly. This one is called Smothered Mushroom Pork Chop. It says on the back that it is smothered mushroom pork chop with cauliflower mash and roasted zucchini. But they fibbed on this one. I mean, mistakes happen, so I still don't know if how good the rest will taste, but there was no cauliflower mash. There was just the main course of the pork chop and zucchini. I found some other stuff in the fridge to take the void of the cauliflower mash that they didn't give me, which is I just found some leftover fish that someone had baked. So to take the little space that was left empty. But yeah, so I picked this one out of the ones I have in the fridge just because I wanted to try something other than chicken, and pork chops sounded good. Look at this. It says on the front, I didn't point this out before, it's like grass-fed, pasture-raised, antibiotic and hormone-free. I'm sure they're talking about things like the pork chops, and this says the same thing on the other ones for all of their animal products. No refined sugars, preservative-free, non-GMO. So, and 770 calories total, which is pretty good. And total carbohydrates is 12 grams, with dietary fiber is 4, which, there's a little math involved there if you want to make sure. 8 net carbs,
Okay, I'm gonna run some trash outside.
So
5.
Copy. Anyways, excuse my random interruption. Have to do this tonight instead of on my weekend because, well, I eat them every day. So if I'm going to review them, I don't really have a choice but to do some of them during the week. All right, let's give this a try. The pork chop, I mean, is pretty good. I heated it up per instructions, so only 2 minutes, and then I check it and I put it for 30 seconds more just to make it a little hotter. Then I let it stand. I didn't really. It's not like I let it sit on the shelf though. I was where I am right now. The kitchen is like 100 yards away, so I had to. It's 2 minutes was spent just being carried back here. All right, I'm trying the pork chop with whatever interesting. Oh, the mushroom sauce that's on it. That's what's all over it. That is very rich and creamy. That's very good. They season this stuff pretty well. I'm very impressed with that. Even if it looks a little weird, because it's impossible to make things look like the pictures and ads. But it doesn't. What matters the most is that they heat up properly and they taste excellent, even if they look weird. Anything prepackaged is going to end up looking a little prepackaged. But that is tasty. All right, so now I'm going to try a little of the zucchini that was on the other side, which was supposed to have a little cauliflower fake mashed potatoes. Zucchini is nice little chunks, and it tastes like it's in a light buttery butter and salt is what I'm really tasting. Is the only seasonings on the zucchini, which is appropriate. That's all you really need. I mean, personal taste. if you want a little black pepper, I like to add it to stuff. But I mean, when it comes to what's essential for making partially cooked greens more appetizing, is a little bit of butter and a little bit of salt is perfect. Even that fake salt for those of you that can't have extra sodium. I like zucchini, so I'm a little biased. So this is pretty good. And they make it, to use a term, you know, it's usually used for pasta, they make it al dente. So the zucchini still has a little bit, you know, a little firmness to it, even though it's cooked, which I don't mind. I like that. I don't really like zucchini raw, and I don't mind it cooked fully, but that is hard to keep that, you know, neat and in a package. If it's fully cooked, it would have been mush. This is just right. A little, just a little firmness inside in each piece. That mushroom sauce, though, very savory, very good, and no bone in the pork chop. The pork chop itself is pretty firm, but not dried out, thankfully, probably thanks to the very juicy and savory sauce that it's sort of bathing in on its section. But yeah, see, the pork chop is good, and the sauce is very nice. So far, I haven't been really disappointed. The first meal I had was probably the least impressive, but it was still tasty. So, and since then, each one has been impressive, and a little bit more so each time. Very good. So, this is nice. I want to update people. I'm going to attempt to do something that's not in this playlist on the weekend. One of my next days off, either Friday or Saturday. A friend gifted to us some other very hot ramen type instant noodle packs. So probably Saturday night, maybe after I get done doing a lot of errands the day before. Jack and I will both do a little taste test or challenge. The challenge being that we try to finish the serving of extremely spicy ramen. You know, I have to do it on like Friday or Saturday because I have to, one of those days I basically pick as my off the diet day, because obviously ramen noodles are not keto friendly. But on this diet, I'm going to try to keep it most days of the week. I stay on it with an occasional single day when I am not, when I can eat things with more carbs than you would on a keto diet. But yeah, that should be fun. You're going to see us sweat a bit. Jack has a history of being tougher than me when he does some of these challenges on camera. Except for with the Death Nut Challenge. I mean, he did manage to do quite a bit of it, but he didn't do all 5 levels. Very good. And the mushroom, I mean, you can tell by colors there, but there aren't big chunks. So it's been like chopped up very finely and cooked into the cream sauce. But you can taste it, and it's good. I would recommend, very much recommend their smothered mushroom pork chop meal. You know, it's a good one. This is probably one I would pick again when I have to do my when I have to pick the 6 meals I'm going to have, you know, in the beginning of next month. This is definitely one of the better ones. Very good. I'm not going to comment on the fish, since that's not actually part of this particular keto meal. It's just because they didn't give me the cauliflower mashed potatoes that's promised on the box. I substituted with a couple small pieces of someone's baked fish leftovers. I guess the one comment that's obvious is out of all the leftovers that are in the big fridge, the fact that I picked them means I know that they taste good. Zucchini is good. Very much the buttery flavor with a hint of salt. In the right amount. Just the right amount. And my mother used to have a habit, because as she got older, she lost the ability to taste salt in her food. So no matter how much you cooked in the recipe and already had added plenty of salt, didn't matter what the food was, she had to dump a bunch more on it when she was eating it. Even knowing that basically she had to eat several times the recommended amount in a meal just to be able to taste it at all. I'm grateful I have not lost my sense of taste or smell at all. I can definitely tell that all of the ingredients, the finer ingredients in most foods, as long as there isn't one that's too blinding, you know. Obviously, like some of the spicier foods, I'll notice the hints of other flavors until I get overwhelmed. Like if you eat something that's just way too much, too high on the Scoville scale, it tends to blind your taste buds until you start recovering from that burn. But yeah, so that was delicious, and thank you for coming back and watching. Please like this video if you found it entertaining at all or informative, because Factor, you know, it's good. So far, so good. And please leave a comment for a suggestion of any other content for my other playlists. I'm open and willing to try most anything, as long as it's something I'm able to do. You know, it doesn't get me in trouble. And I have the ability technologically to do it. The only real limitations I have now is, you know, I do this all with my phone. You know, if I ever get monetized, obviously, one of the first things I would be doing is investing back in the channel, getting some better equipment, and maybe even taking a course so I actually know how to do proper editing. And I can add some extra polish to different parts of the video that you see on a lot of other YouTubers' channels. I have a lot of ideas, but I don't have the technical know-how. All right, well, please share with others that you think are thinking about doing keto, but maybe don't have the time or patience to cook their, you know, meals themselves all the time. And by the way, because the first thing my family's going to say when they see these things in my fridge when they come visit later this weekend is, ooh, that's going to be expensive. And you're like, actually, current grocery prices, when I buy what I need for the month and then the little bit you have to buy each week, adds up to quite a bit more than the amount I paid for the Factor meals. So much so that these are so good that I'm definitely going to stop buying a large amount of the groceries I usually buy, and because I'll have these instead in my fridge and actually save money by subscribing to getting these. Like, I get 6 meals every 2 weeks, which is enough because I still, in other meals I still have some things I keep, like low carb wraps in the house for other meals, you know, where I just put simple things together, you know, and some things like that. But I won't have to buy a lot of ingredients that I use to cook. I won't cook as often from scratch, so it saves money. So I'm actually saving money getting these. I mean, do your budget, do your monthly food budget, check it out and compare it to the prices of they have different levels, different amounts you can buy. And I'm not sponsored, by the way. This is purely out of my own interest for my health. And then a friend of mine, coworker and friend, suggested if I was going to try something like this anyways, that why don't I do a segment on my channel where I review them. So thank you, Paula. That was a great idea. And I hope someone else is benefiting from these reviews. Have a great time, and I'll see you next time on the Town's End.